Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TA Leadership League Twangout on Predictive Hiring 2.0, a People Matters initiative in association with Aon Hewitt, Talview Video Interviews, and Mansa. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Savita from People Matters, and I'll be running you through a little about the league and a little more about the week, and then we'll straight away move into the session. There's a third edition to the TA Leadership League that we have in place, and we bring before you a different set of activities all through the year, giving all of us an opportunity to learn, share, and grow together. I'm pleased to share with you about a new initiative, which is the TA Leadership League, which is a part of the year-long activity. This Twangout is a part of this entire recruitment week that we have in place from 11th, that is today, until the 15th of January. It's dedicated surely to the recruitment committee. The week will host daily newsletters, daily video releases, a Twangout, that is this one, a webinar tomorrow, and a tweet chat, which is going to be day after. Do make sure you do not miss out on any of this and be a part of all of it through this week. This definitely has been possible with our partners Aon Hewitt, Talview Video Interviews, and Mansa. We'd like to straight away move into our Twangout session, and I'd like to introduce our guest for this session. Sumati Sampath, Head Talent Acquisition, Infosys BPO, with more than 19 years of experience. She's held leadership roles across talent management, talent development, employee relations and retention, performance management, and a lot more of such roles. Sumati has worked with organizations like ANZ, Thomson Reuters, Standard Chartered Bank, and IIT Madras TNET Group, Midas Communication Technologies. Welcome, Sumati. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Moving on to introducing our co-host for today, Preeti Rawat, Senior Manager Talent Acquisition at Sapient Global Markets. Preeti has over 13 years of experience in setting up, scaling up, and transforming the running talent acquisition function for the global organization. Welcome, Preeti. Pleasure to have you too.
Thank you.
Before we actually step into our session, let me remind you that you can follow the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag #TALeague. That's #TALeague. Please make sure you share in your comments, your learnings, your questions for Sumati on this page. If you do not have a Twitter handle as yet, you may please inbox me your questions at savita.vijayan@peoplematters.in. Happy to take them to Sumati over this medium as well and join the conversation. So with this, we'll kickstart with our conversation. Without being between you, Preeti, and Sumati, I'd like to hand over the microphone to Preeti. It's super exciting. Shall we get started, Preeti?
Yes, thank you, Savita.
Pleasure.
We are all set to start this definitely very, very exciting session. Good evening, everyone, to the Twangout session, the session on Predictive Hiring 2.0. You are watching the live TA Leadership League Twangout with Sumati Sampath. Keep your question on Twitter handle using the hashtag TA League, or email your question to savita.vijayana@thepeoplematters.in. All right, before we get started to really hearing from Sumati about predictive hiring, let me ask a question to this audience. Now, we have been hearing about big data quite a bit, particularly in last one and a half year. Big data in talent acquisition is quite talked about. I would like to hear from you. How has predictive hiring or big data impacted you in your day-to-day working? So you can tweet your response. In the meanwhile, let's get started with Sumati's views on predictive hiring. So Sumati, I would like to understand from you, what is the scope of predictive hiring and its impact on the organization?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Preeti and Savita. Many organizations are looking at predictive analytics, right? Like talent analytics and workforce science, as a way to improve talent acquisition process. At a high level, predictive analytics uses historical data and current inputs to make predictions about the future behavior. In talent acquisition and management industry, predictive analytics is receiving lots of focus and investment. The big news is that technology advancements that are enabling predictive analytics to take off, like for some example, to quote few examples, the growth of cloud-based applications is one technology factor enabling the growth of predictive data-driven model for hiring. Data can be captured, stored at a much lower cost, with new application making big data easier to manage, process, and analyze business intelligent engine. And these are more powerful and cost-effective to deploy. So the benefits would be for our recruitment fraternity would be quite simple. Increase in hiring speed, increase in hiring quality, increase in your performance and productivity, value creation in your pre-hire, like increase the speed of hiring, easy to use, fast response, result delivered immediately, and let's see, to review and interview to completely remove unconscious bias that we may have in the system, more objective and effective hiring procedures. The value creation of post-hire would be like increase in quality of hire, increase performance and productivity, decrease staff turnover, increase in diversity, increase in social mobility, achieve a diversified and productive workforce. By adopting this predictive analytics, organization can improve effectiveness of recruiting by understanding who's successful in its environment and which source produce better hires. This approach allows an organization to build a robust data-driven analytic framework that enables it to rank effectiveness of different hiring sources, resulting optimum hiring profiles to effectively channel future investment in recruiting. First, prioritizing relevant areas that could drive effectiveness of a hiring program. Consider identifying a pivotal role and digging into each independently rather than taking into a holistic approach. Collect relevant data about successful hires to test hypotheses. Merge separate sources of data to evaluate your performance of past hires who have stayed with the firm and consistently delivered on performance. Use statistic modeling to understand why those hires were successful. What drives better quality of hire? Which data point tells the story? Look beyond mere correlation and analysis of different factors within one modeling framework. So I think how it helps the organization, it would be definitely certainly reduce quality, candidates being overlooked in resume or in tied with the use of with the ATS platform and HRIS system that's available. Save recruiters' time early in the recruitment process. Systematically manage the risk and cost of predictive hiring. Bring in the right candidate at the right time. So how it improves the quality, probably the most important use of predictive analytics is to improve quality of hire by linking with the hiring process to perform to production performance, attrition data, engagement survey information, and other data from employee life cycle. Hiring managers need to make sure their hiring models have measurable process and objective data that are reliable. Example include pre-employment assessment results, interview results, engagement survey, data recruiting, and then turnover data and performance results. Predictive analytics will help you source more efficiently and effectively. Tying recruiting sources into a predictive analytics model can enable hiring managers to improve the source of hire. For example, a hiring manager can trace the hire back to the original hiring source and then link that to a quality of hire. This enables recruiting managers to optimize their recruitment, marketing, and eliminate all the poor sources. In addition, this same approach can be used to evaluate in-house recruiters, third-party recruiting firms, job boards, and other recruiting sources. Recruiting leaders can significantly improve the return on investment for their recruitment, marketing programs, and use of data to negotiate better pricing terms. By adopting all this, organization can improve the effectiveness and understanding, a better understanding who is successful in its environment, which sources produces better hires. This approach shall allow an organization to build a robust data-driven analytic framework that enables it to rank effectiveness of different hiring sources. Prioritizing the relevant area that could drive effectiveness of a hiring program, identify pivotal roles, again digging into each independently rather than taking a holistic approach. Collect all the relevant data about successful hires to test hypotheses, and use all these statistic models for a better understanding. So definitely a successful organization uses predictive analytics in their candidate selection process by using advanced analytics to isolate characteristics of success and tailoring assessment survey that evaluate every job candidate for these characteristics with a combination of attitude, demographic, and experiential factors.
Right. Thank you, Sumati. This was really, really insightful. So a couple of things that I really heard you saying is how is it that predictive hiring can help talent acquisition leaders to source efficiently. One thing that I do kind of caught in your in the message that you were sharing was you can really track it down to saying that which source gives you what quality of hire.
Yes.
And really the talent acquisition team to focus on that source, to leverage that source to the optimum to get the most out of it. The other thing that I really kind of took from the message that you shared was how you can prioritize some of the key improvement areas. Now in talent acquisition function, really if you were to see, there are improvement areas in the process, in the the online assessments that we are administering to our candidates day in and day out. Are those really effective, and which assessment tool really gives more return for the buck?
Also, there are a few things you need to understand about this is, the amount of data involved with predictive analytics requires investment in technology and business intelligence, applications to store it and manage it. Organizations also need to have a team that understands the data modeling, technology infrastructure, and the appropriate experience and credentials to develop and review the content. Also model needs to be built on a reliable data that is captured in a very consistent way, because the data may not tell you the entire story, but we need to kind of make sure that we feed in the right data, and understanding the story around the hiring process is very critical.
Right, absolutely. Rightly said that there has to be investment from the organization standpoint on tools, technology, capturing the right data, correct data, and then more so, I think it is the mindset shift, right? We tend to very often, have been doing things, traditionally, which is, go by gut feel. So predictive hiring and using big data technology is also a mindset shift for talent acquisition professionals to really understand the value what data modeling brings to the table in talent acquisition space. So moving on to the next thought that I had, which I wanted to kind of ask you, Sumati, is while big data is much talked about, and it is really whenever it is about big data in HR space that we speak, the first function that comes in mind is talent acquisition. So what are the challenges of leveraging big data in talent acquisition space?
As I said, Preeti, feed in the right data, right? Sanctity of the data is very important. Data integrity, and of course standardization. You can't always keep changing. Once you change all this, standardization is very important. That again is a bit of a challenge. And then on technology front, are we on the cutting edge? Are we guys using the right cutting edge technology? That's again a challenge. Setup and infrastructure cost in case of a non-cloud based setup, that I see as another challenge. And what you can say is this cannot entirely replace context, emotion, human interaction, that gut feel and all that. This cannot replace that. At times you may have to use. Knowing what to look. This cannot be used in isolation. Definitely, you need the blessing of your stakeholders, the management, the support. So these are the few challenges that I see, from my perspective.
Right. So rightfully said, Sumati, some of what I kind of heard you saying is that largely, it is really required that there has to be a lot of leadership support and belief in big data technology in TA space, and the belief that it is going to, give us the desired result, which is really efficient recruiting function. And of course, the investment on technology and getting the clean data.
Definitely would is going to help us on a longer term, right? Initially, we may have some glitch, change management would take some time. We may have some problem, but I think this model can predict where we are going, how we need to fine tune, where we need to focus on, who are our target audience, is this the right hire, even will it work for retention, does it fit into culture? There are many, many advantages that we have by using this. So certainly, yes.
Right. So there is a question from the audience on predictive hiring. The question is, does the HR system in India accommodate capabilities for predictive hiring? This question has come from others.
Well, I think we have started, yes. I've heard organizations who have just started, using all this. But if you ask me, are we fully in there? No, we have crossed 60% of the hurdle when it comes to these predictive models. So in HR, again, yes, we are figuring different ways to see the efficacies. So,
all right, right. So, also, Sumati, there was another question, an interesting question. How do we convince, management to invest that much of money in predictive hiring?
Well, the return of investment, you need to be very clear what you can bring to the table. By doing so, you save cost, man hours, right? You don't have to invest, or instead of investing on 5 guys, you could just invest on 1 person. Your SLA cost, your speed and execution. I think your response to your candidates will be much more quicker, and there will be a candidate delight. So it also helps in a certain bit of, branding, Speed nowadays, if you see with this competitive world, speed of hiring is the talk, right? People, they recruit in 12 minutes. I've heard some e-commerce companies saying that we hire in 12 minutes. So when, it's so dynamic, I think when you discuss this on your, ROI to the management, and you can show them what you bring to the table and you can make a difference. The survey says this has in predictive analytics have increased 40% faster in hiring, the way we hire. It has increased to 40%. So thereby there is a cost saving model and
Right.
plus speed in delivery.
Right, right. So it is, show the cost benefit analysis to your leadership and they will see what they are going to get out of the money spent on technology.
Absolutely.
So there is another question, Sumati. It looks like people are really, really glued on to the topic on predictive hiring. So this question comes from Venere, and he asks how predictive analytics can optimize the talent pipeline.
Okay. How it can optimize a talent pipeline is by leveraging macroeconomic and talent data to ascertain certain key factors that can lead to better resource allocation. For example, identifying the best location to invest in recruitment, the best channel, where they are available, best portal, for example, or a social media, you need to this helps your talent pipeline to analyze where you can get them, and you can keep the conversation going on. There is a difference between a talent acquisition and recruitment. So this predictive model will help more towards a talent acquisition function than the regular recruitment hire. So this kind helps you to engage with the candidate, keep them warm and show them where it is, and, make a skill data analysis, what has worked well. So definitely in these terms.
Right, right. Right. The key message that again, very nicely that you have put across, Sumati, is talent acquisition, and really not just talking about hiring. Hiring is a piece within talent acquisition.
In talent acquisition.
And it talks about where can we get the right people from, and predictive hiring, big data technologies tells us accurately which is the source we should be going after, what kind of profile we should be putting in the system to give us the success that we look for. Are there any BI tools that which you think can give insights into predictive analytics, but for talent acquisition space?
Well, I'll leave that question to you, Preeti. Would you like to answer?
Sure, sure. So there are BI tools. For example, ATS, works on the back end, which is, OBIE, and that's largely used to kind of pull out very, very robust and do a lot of robust analytics in talent acquisition space. So that's what currently a lot of ATSs are using. In big data technologies, there are a lot of PLC, a lot of database technologies which is being used at the back end, which can handle a lot of high volume, high frequency data. For example, Cassandra. Cassandra is being used by organizations to manage terabytes, petabytes of data. So yeah, there are lots out there, but also one thing that we need to keep in mind that while big data is being talked about in pretty much not only in talent acquisition, in the e-commerce space, in the banking space, in the investment banking space, there is one key thing about big data technologies that there are not too many third-party organizations which provide support. There are 2 or 3 of them. If you Google that, you'll find it out. So yeah. So that's the response that I could probably give.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There is this another question which has come from an audience on the predictive analytics is um, what are some of the prerequisites for using big data analytics? What is it that what is required for using big data analytics?
As I said, an ATS could be used, application tracking system. For example, you can, integrate HRIS, you can integrate your survey, you can feed in your, you can just feed anything that you would like to see, the trend of how it is, have been, when it was captured, when did we contact the candidates, when is the target audience, the different channels, the different media that we used. There are different ways to capture, it all depends on what you want to capture. There are no certain prerequisites like, what you enter, what you give in the right data, and you can capture the right data. Now, supposing if you want to see a trend analysis, of course, you have to give in all the previous trends, channels, how you have used, and other things. Now, if you want to talk about the candidate, you have to then start feeding about the cultural questions, psychometric, and some unexpected answers may also come up, right? It may be different, but when you use these analytics or predictive, you can sometimes foresee unexpected answers, which you can say that, okay, this is okay for a short term, this candidate would be okay for a long term. So these are the different things that you could analyze, and these are the different prerequisites that you could use if need be.
Great. Thank you, Sumati. It was really, really insightful conversation we had. I'm sure the audience took away quite a bit. Over to Savita.
Thank you. Thank you, Preeti.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Preeti. This really has been the quickest 30 minutes, I think, thus far. So we have actually covered quite a lot, but there are so many questions still in the inbox. So with your permission, if I can take one question, Sumati, which is, what is the one question in my inbox, which is, when is a good time to start predictive hiring or predictive analysis in a particular organization? So I think this is coming from a small, medium enterprise right now in my inbox, but any particular thought that you have?
See, I think the function should be stabilized, good standardization process, good process end to end, and reasonable, not immediately when you start a company and then you immediately start predicting again is different. A proven track, when you want to raise the bar to the next level, so that's when you should start using. First, you need to stabilize. You need to have your process standardized. You should see your track. You should see, your function is just going well, end-to-end process, and the cycle should be stable. And then one way of looking is, raise the bar and then start using your predictive analytics. Because that's going to be the future. That's going to be the future. I mean, at the moment, since it's just emerging and it's there in the market, so we are doing it this way. I think the next generation would be straight onto predictive analytics when you just start your recruitment. So
I'm sure.
You think step by step would help.
I'm sure. Thank you so much, Sumati. Thank you, listeners, for being a part of today's TA Leadership League week Twangout. So stay tuned. We have the entire week coming up with a lot of activities and a lot of excitement. With this, we come to an end to a super exciting session on Predictive Hiring 2.0. Thank you, Sumati, for being a fantastic speaker. Very big thank you to you.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Savita.
Thank you. Preeti, a very big thank you to you for being a great co-host. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, audience, for being a fantastic audience and also taking notes of what is happening in this session, even on Twitter. Thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow for the webinar on recruitment versus strategic talent acquisition. So that's something which we also touched upon today, and Sumati did mention it very, very, very precisely, that talent acquisition is a lot more than what hiring alone is. So Tomorrow, we are going to touch upon a lot more on what recruitment is versus strategic talent acquisition with Ajit Diaz, head human resource Ginger Hotels for the Indian Hotels Group. Please do visit our People Matters website to register yourself to join the conversation using the hashtag #TALeague. We really look forward to welcoming you once again tomorrow for the webinar. And this Twangout now stands closed. Have an inspiring evening. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.